Hi there, it's Maria with Aviation Ground School, and I'm here at Old Warden, which is an airfield in East Anglia. Behind me are 4 C-47s, C-53s, DC-3s that are all gathered here for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. These are 4 of the crews that are here. There's some more coming on the way, and we've been here for 2 days now. Shuttleworth is a museum, a collection, and a beautiful grass airstrip that's right out here. So there's the lovely grass strip, and all day yesterday there were tiger moths and chipmunks flying around. There's That's Old Brother, famously the aircraft that led the D-Day invasion over Normandy, the first aircraft. Western, Spirit of Douglas, and Placid Lassie down there at the end. So the crews have been wonderful. Last night there was a barbecue and swing dancing and all this, and there's been reenactors, and the museum itself, the Shuttleworth collection back there, there's doors have been opened. So it's been lovely turnout here, and a little bit of rain this morning, but it hasn't deterred anyone from coming out. I've also been doing some interviews with crew members. So I spoke with the crew chief of That's All Brother, as well as the crew chief of Placid Lassie, and a pilot of Spirit of Douglas. So I'll be adding those later to the channel for everyone to watch and hear more about the crew's trips over here. They traveled from Oxford, Connecticut, that was with the kickoff event, and then through Greenland, Iceland, over Scotland, and down here into England. So the DC-3 took its first flight in 1935, and it was used by the time that World War II began. It was something like 80% of flights occurring were in DC-3s. They were incredibly popular. And then the war began, and very quickly the American side needed a transport plane, and thus emerged the C-47. So the C-47 is a DC-3 with a few changes. It's got a reinforced floor so that it can carry heavier cargo, the big door so that it can drop troops, that's on the other side, paratroopers out, and a few other modifications. Of course, this one is done up with invasion stripes, so those didn't come until just a few days before D-Day. So now moving to 1944, early June, the point of the invasion stripes was to be able to identify Allied aircraft so that you knew friendly aircraft from foes. And then another modification was the C-53. So this is an example. This is now a DC-3. This was converted after the war, but this came out of the factory as a C-53. So again, it's the military version of a DC-3, but it doesn't have that reinforced floor. It doesn't have a jumper door. It's essentially it's much closer to a DC-3 than a C-47 is. This one in particular has a few other modifications. So you've got this different wingtip that you can see compared to your standard wingtip. There it is. And this is beautifully done up. They've just changed the name and the coloring, everything. It's Spirit of Douglas, and the inside is really like it's the same way that it was in the 50s when it was a top-of-the-line luxury transport aircraft. Another difference here is the landing gear, which you see here on the DC-3 and not on the C-47. Now, the invasion stripes were a very last-minute operation. Of course, they couldn't let intelligence see that they were painting these stripes on the aircraft months or weeks before. So just a few days before, June 3rd and 4th, they told the fleet that they had to paint these stripes all over the airplane. So you see it on the wings and towards the empennage there. And these are in nice clean lines, but in reality they would have been done with mops and buckets and whatever you had on hand to get these stripes painted on the aircraft. Also here at Old Warden we have this lovely stagger wing, and yesterday in its place there was a Spitfire Mark V. Some of the aircraft are offering tours through the cabin, so you can see the line that's wrapping around the airplane here. There's a steerman in the background there, and there's been lots of photographers out, lots of media, and people are just walking all around. I mean, they're able to get right up close next to the airplane. Here's a rather familiar English airshow site. So it's raining now, and everyone's taking cover under wings or fuel stands or more wings.
And mind you, I think everybody else will have the same idea, but well, maybe they're.
So the reason that That's All Brother was chosen as the lead was it was one of the few airplanes that was equipped with this radar detection device right here that you see. Now that is the Rebecca Eureka. That's the Rebecca side of that system. So Eureka was the radar transmitter that the Pathfinders dropped, and then the Rebecca was the system that could receive it. So there weren't that many airplanes that were equipped with this radar system, and since this one was, it was chosen at the lead. So there you can see the door of where the paratroopers would come out. And there's a static line which leads through the whole fuselage and ends right here. So this is where you jump out of the airplane. There were about 13,000 paratroopers, American paratroopers, who jumped on D-Day. And behind this airplane there were, I believe, 820 other C-47s in the formation. So that afternoon, I was invited to fly on Placid Lassie, which is the beautiful airplane that you see here later on in the week during a lovely sunset. It's owned by the Tunisian Foundation, operated out of Poughkeepsie, New York. And on this flight, it was being flown by the father-son duo, Eric and Luke Zipkin. It was a beautiful flight. We went around the English countryside in formation for a while. I've got some clips of it to show you. So that was our incredibly successful first stop in England, there at Shuttleworth, or Old Warden aerodrome. And in the next video, I'll take you through where we went next, which was North Weald, not too far from there, still over in southern England, and then to Duxford, and then across the channel into France. So thanks for tuning in, and let me know if you have any specific questions about the D-Day Squadron, the DC-3 Society, or about the 2024 Legacy Tour to France and Germany. Thanks for watching.